This video gives a brief ArmyIgnitED overview and next steps for students that are looking to request tuition assistance. Students that qualify for the ArmyIgnitED program can receive up to $250 per credit hour with up to $4,000 per year. I just want to make sure I point out that this is less than half the tuition rate charged at EMU. Students are going to need additional resources to pay for remaining balances for tuition and fees. Federal tuition assistance pays out after the student's tuition assistance request is approved and after the course is more than 19% completed. To ensure you're able to receive tuition assistance each semester, there are some student responsibilities that must be met. Your first responsibility is initiating a login and an education path with ArmyIgnitED. Once you've initiated an education path, Eastern Michigan will approve your education path and will begin submitting your enrollment records each semester. We recommend that you finalize your registration 3 weeks prior to the semester start date, because at that time we'll begin submitting those enrollment records to ArmyIgnitED. We'll be sending out an email each semester letting you know when we have begun to submit those enrollment records so students can log in, verify that all of the information is correct, and begin submitting their requests for tuition assistance. Probably the most important student responsibility is requesting tuition assistance 1 week prior to the semester start date. Some students who have an approved student degree plan will get automatic tuition assistance approval. Most others will need to request it manually. Tuition assistance must be requested prior to the semester start date. After the semester start date, students are no longer eligible for tuition assistance for that course. Because ArmyIgnitED is currently behind, they do have an exception to policy procedure in place in which they're pulling in any records for which students did not request tuition assistance, but they do not anticipate that process continuing into the future. It is extremely important that students log in to their ArmyIgnitED student profile and request their tuition assistance or confirm that their tuition assistance was approved for each course on their student degree plan. Eastern Michigan's responsibilities include submitting files. We'll submit all enrollment, grades, graduation, and student degree plans. Students will submit nothing to ArmyIgnitED. Once you've requested your tuition assistance, we'll have it on our invoice list and we'll be able to approve it so that you can get paid. Eastern Michigan can only approve invoices twice per month. We'll approve those invoices the business day prior to the 14th of the month and the last business day of the month. Once students request their tuition assistance, it could sit in our queue for a few weeks, either waiting for that 19% completion date or waiting for our next available invoice approval period. ArmyIgnitED will pay tuition assistance after the 19% completion date for the semester. Once payments received from ArmyIgnitED, Eastern Michigan will apply those payments to student accounts. This is a chart that kind of helps break down what students are responsible for and what institutions are responsible for. So this up here are all of the things that Eastern Michigan submit to ArmyIgnitED. We submit the degree files, the student degree plans, the class enrollment, the grades, and the graduation. Down here are things that students are responsible for. You guys are responsible for completing that education path. That is your first step. Once we approve that, you're able to follow the rest of these steps. It's important that student education paths match the degree information that we have for you. We cannot approve education paths that don't match your current degree in our records. If students are to change their major, which happens often throughout a degree, file a new education path and we will approve that new education path. ArmyIgnitED lists student degree plans as the second step, but it might not be the second step for all students. Once you create a course of study with an academic advisor, we do need you to submit that to us so we can create a degree plan for you, including all of the classes that you have taken and that you plan to take to complete your degree. Once this student degree plan is submitted, you're able to automatically get tuition assistance approved, so there's not the extra step of you having to go in and request tuition assistance. Holds will eventually be placed on student accounts that don't have a student degree plan. After you've been enrolled for 2 semesters and requesting tuition assistance, if you don't have your student degree plan submitted, ArmyIgnitED plans to initiate a hold on your account that will prevent you from further requesting tuition assistance manually. Eastern Michigan then submits class enrollment records, so any enrollment for the semester is submitted by us. Once semester enrollment has been submitted to ArmyIgnitED, we'll send everyone an email letting them know they can begin requesting their tuition assistance. Once we submit class enrollment records, it's the student's responsibility to submit tuition assistance requests. Once the semester ends, we'll submit grade reports. Students who have classes in an I or an IP status will not have their grades submitted immediately. Once we report an incomplete or an incomplete in progress grade, it cannot be changed. We'll leave those records open so when students complete those courses, they can let us know to submit the grades at that time. To expedite the process of receiving tuition assistance, students can submit a student degree plan. If you have a course of study from your academic advisor, you can submit that and I can create your student degree plan from that course of study. If not, you can email me at lclark12@emich.edu and I can provide you a form that you can fill out, letting me know who your advisor is, what your course of study is, and all current classes as well as future classes you plan to take to complete your degree. An additional way students can expedite the process of receiving tuition assistance is requesting it as soon as possible. I know I've said it 3 or 4 times, but tuition assistance must be requested before the start date of the course. Once the course starts, there is nothing we can do to reopen your ability to request tuition assistance. Limiting enrollment changes will also help expedite the process of requesting tuition assistance. Enrollment changes can lead to delays in receiving tuition assistance or the inability to request tuition assistance for courses added late. There is an open period of enrollment that extends into the semester at Eastern Michigan. That is not the same for ArmyIgnitED. Just because you can add and drop classes online here still does not mean that you can still request tuition assistance for those courses through ArmyIgnitED. If you have additional questions about ArmyIgnitED and the processes or requesting tuition assistance, here's the contact information for our team that can assist you. Veteran Services is Michael Wise at mwise2@emich.edu. He can help you out with filling out and approving education paths, getting your login set, or just general questions you have about the program. If you have questions about financial aid or any data type questions, my name's Lindsay McLean at lclark12@emich.edu. If you're missing any data on your file, any enrollment files haven't updated correctly, you notice a class isn't contained on your profile, or you have a hold on your account for grades, I would be the person to contact for that. Additionally, if you need any financial aid help paying for the rest of your semester after tuition assistance pays, you can contact me for that as well. Billing and payments is Kevin Sala at Student Business Services, ksala1@emich.edu. He can help you with any questions on tuition assistance approvals or payments from ArmyIgnitED. Please feel free to reach out if you have any questions or concerns about your tuition assistance from ArmyIgnitED.